Your Honor.
Hello, everybody. Hey, Deb, what's going on?
Hi, guys. How is everybody tonight? How you feeling?
Mm. Oh, I've had an ear infection, so I'm all like, yay. How are you guys doing?
We're great. We're excited for tonight. I'm excited to have Dave on here with all of his talents as well.
That's beautiful. Well, the floor is yours. What do you guys want to talk about?
We're going to talk about transformation. We're going to talk about transformation.
Okay, well, like we're minute 3 in. Let's go deep. Let's go hard. Let's do it. Okay. Go for it.
All right. All right. So we're talking about transformational Tuesdays, guys. And when we come into transformation, we have to understand that first and foremost, it starts with us. And what I and Dave have learned through our relationship is that when you are with a partner or you're around a lot of other people, you need to first understand that you need to pick the people that are as strong as you or stronger than you. If you find yourself a lot around a lot of sheep or weaker individuals, you'll find yourself doing the same. So understand that when we are going out and finding out what we are going to be in life, and if we aren't picking other strong individuals to be around us, that transformation is going to be very hard. It is going to take longer. It is going to be more suppressed and depressed. It's going to take a lot more climbing to get out of that hole and to get into that evolution of enlightenment. And so what are we talking about? So let's simplify it. Let's simplify it. It's like this. If you want to be rich, hang around a bunch of people who are rich. If you would like to be psychic, find a bunch of psychics. If you want success, you need to hang around successful people because the energy that you are with in that transformation is going to be who you are. And so it's like this, if we hang around people who are into alcohol or drugs or substances, you'll find yourself usually using substances or being susceptible to that energy or that energy that's around substances even. Like I used to be a bartender and I didn't drink, but I very much was susceptible to spiritual energy, the dark energies that used to hang around bars and that forum that and that platform. And so we have to understand that whatever energies that we're entertaining are going to be who we are. And so when you're ready for that transformation and that evolution and that bump up in life, you need to take ownership of who am I entertaining? What energies are around us? What transformation do I want in my life? Am I looking to level up in my life and become more spiritual and more enlightened and have that pathway paved and my understanding of who I am and show the universe that? Or am I going to entertain energies that are lower than mine and bump down on this scale? Because that's exactly what's going to happen, guys. And so we really want and Spirit are talking to us today about really understanding that which you entertain and that which you're around, you become. Dave?
Yeah, true story. It's a slippery slope too, because when you hang out with too many people that are lower vibrationally, they almost like worship you in a sense, and like that becomes addictive, and then it's like a spiral, like the helicopter's going down, and now you're in the hole with them.
Oh, sure. So the ego you're talking about, Dave, you're talking about the ego really wants to be fed.
Right.
Right? So it can become very addictive to be a part of that ego-driven society.
Yeah.
Because in society, if you're the guy, the up guy, and you're around a bunch of low functioning people, and we don't mean that in a bad way,
Right.
we just mean not as awakened or as alive or more into consciousness as we are. We're saying that it is very easy to step into that role and have people looking up at us with those starry eyes, right?
Yeah, I was a bartender for many, many years like you, and it was like I'm a star. Everybody comes to see me and they love me, but it really, I would leave that job so deflated. Like I thought I was somebody, but that was the ego speaking.
And then what would your next day or two be like, Dave?
I would be exhausted. Like, and I didn't drink neither at first. Like, I drank on my days off here or there, but
Hmm.
at first I was like really like, I don't drink while working, things like that, and I would feel hungover even though I didn't even drink. It was
Hmm.
almost like a people hangover because they were hanging on my every word, my every energy, like they were relying on me, which is in that business is a good thing because I made a lot of money, but energetically did I make a lot,
And so what was the karmic repayment for that, Dave? Like, what do you feel like?
I dealt with the same thing in my personal life for many years. Like not, not to name names, but in my personal life, I had the same thing. I was getting eaten alive.
Yeah, and your karmic repayment was you that which you create, you much live through.
Yeah.
And so when we're doing a transformation, guys, you have to understand that when the transformation is taking place, that God's not going to let you out. You don't get a free slip. You don't get a go pass, collect $200. You don't get out of jail free card, right? The work has to be done. The levels have to be taken. And when in your transformation, when you are stepping up that scale, you need to make understanding of who am I? What am I? Where am I going in life? Who am I entertaining? What am I entertaining? What is a part of my life? Is this supporting growth? Is this supporting suppression? And we say to ourselves, okay, is this my karmic repayment? Because if it is, I want to transcend it. And so we have to learn how to transcend also. Because karmic repayment can be repaid at a very fast rate with transcending. And so
So
one of the
tell
main
us more
things,
about transcending. What does
one,
transcending mean to you? Just because I
yeah.
just got all these thought bubbles of everyone watching and listening. Okay, what does she mean by transcending?
That's what we are going into.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to be
So
quiet.
that's okay. And so with transcending is that once you have the understanding of what is going on, you can transcend the situation. You can not have to live it. And so my classes that I give on Mondays and Tuesdays, and we do mentorship on the Tuesdays, Mondays and Wednesdays is my regular class. Tuesdays one-on-one mentorships. The transcending comes in when you have the understanding of what you've created. Okay, so let's take this for existence. Okay, I enabled my ex-husband to drink, and I was that person on the side that bought the alcohol, that made it okay, that made it a secret, and then there was drugs involved, and it kept getting dirtier and heavier and darker, and I had to become this very light individual that was like the masked face, right? So what was my karma law? Oh my God, we were exposed. He was caught for methamphetamine. I wasn't on it, and that's the truth. But I did hide it for my husband, and so it was unhidden at a very ripping rage pace. Like the band-aid was just stripped off, right? And I was working at the school system, and so I was very exposed, and there was no hiding whatsoever. So then I had to live through that karma. Well, once I realized I was living the karma, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I must forgive him. I must love him. I must release this so that I don't have to continue to live through this karma. And so to love and release and forgive and to let that go out of your life is very important. That is transcending. Once you realize what you've created and become remorseful or forgiving to yourself and to others, and we release that from our lives, we can transform and level up and transcend all of that karmic debt that we are living through.
One of the big pieces that I missed, and thank God I had you by my side when I was going through a lot of it, was you got to transcend your own stuff too. You got to forgive yourself. You got to move forward from your role in it as well. You can't sit there and beat yourself up for the life that you did live. It was all lessons. There is no wrong or right. So you have to really dig deep into what you personally were involved with in the story, and I,
Yes.
because I had a hard, I would be like, I'm good, I got this. I forgive my dad for leaving. I forgive my mom for leaving. I forgive my ex-wife for this, and I'm doing great. And then I just fell into such a hole because I was still mad at myself for the crap that I was doing, which that's a key piece, I think, because we do. And that's actually the number one thing we should focus on is ourselves in the story.
It's the main focus, actually, Dave. Spirit is really loud with understanding that the main focus is that it's your story that's stemming from you. We have to remember that our core purpose, okay, it's like we're a beacon, okay, our core purpose, that's us. And then we have all of these storylines that are around us, Dave. It's like a huge spider web, right? And we all are creating stories, every single one of us, and all those stories are working together in a network. Okay. And everybody has a role in their own story. Okay. And we are all together making stories together. My story, your story, anybody we entertain our energy with, Dave. And so they're saying to us, remember that when we're entertaining energies, we're making those stories. And so when we forgive ourselves, we release those storylines. We actually release that energy. We forgive ourselves, we forgive them, we release that line of energy that is linked to us. When I was getting sober myself and I forgave those energy lines and links, those people fell away out of my life. And I became this very prosperous, very positive, very motivated individual that nothing was going to stop me.
Right.
But it wasn't until I forgiven myself for my decisions and forgiven everybody around me and released those storylines and released those energetic connections. Because it doesn't just go for drinking, guys, it goes for everything that you've ever done in your life. Releasing those energy lines and transforming and transcending all of what you don't want in your life is actually simpler than you ever could possibly imagine. It's about forgiveness, love, enlightenment, and moving forward.
And have a little compassion too, because you're going to mess up, and what is mess up really? There's no such thing. You're going to learn, basically, is how I should put it.
Right.
There's gonna be what you call a detour, but it could have been like the best thing that could have ever happened to you. Have a little compassion for yourself
Oh my
for
God,
falling
yes.
down a rung or something. Like, you got to forgive. Like, you got to just chalk it up as we're living life here.
We're living life here. It's not a big deal. Don't make it such a big deal. I'll tell you what, you know how many times I said I was gonna get sober, Dave?
I know, me too. Yeah.
I cannot tell you how many times I said I'm gonna get sober. This is my last drink right here. Not doing this no more. And
I'm
then
out of vodka tonight, and I'm not buying it again.
that's it. We're done. That's it.
Yeah, I
And
did it
we
so
never
much.
drank together, but
Right.
same story, same song, same place, same pattern. It also goes for other substances that we use to self-soothe or to get ourselves in that happy space. But here's the thing to understand, guys, is that there is no such thing as unhappiness and unless you create it, right? Every thought you think becomes an emotion, and that emotion turns into an action that you're choosing. And so during your transformation, what kind of thoughts are you going to have about yourself and about others? What
Yeah.
kind of thoughts are you going to have? Are you going to have judgmental thoughts? Well, then guess what? You're going to be judged. Are you going to have hurtful thoughts? You're going to live through some hurt. Are you going to have some thoughts that really self-destruct? Then you're going to see self-destructing things around you happening.
Yeah,
It's all taking
I can
place.
relate to that so much. I was the biggest self-destructor.
Yeah, and the thing about self-destruction that's really amazing, they're really talking really loud to us about this right now, is paying attention to the body and paying attention to what the body is saying, because the body is always telling you. The body is the tell all. And I'll tell you what, Dave, what was the number one thing that ailed you when I met you? Your
Knees.
your knees. Oh my God, not you, Dave.
Yeah, big time.
Knees are ego. Knees are feeling better than others and having the ability to be an egotistical ass, we'll say. How about that?
Yeah.
And having to be above others and having to be right and having to have your opinion heard and your opinion be right. And I'll tell you what, just because you're a people pleaser on the outside, did you know any of those, Dave?
Me.
It doesn't mean that those are your thoughts on the inside.
Yeah, I did that quite a bit.
So even though you're out here being a people pleaser and being this person that everybody loves and shines and adores, Dave went through this. I went through this. We all went through this. A lot of us go
Still
through
go
this.
it. Yeah.
In the back of our brains, in the back of our head, we're being very sarcastic, judgmental, we're being an asshole, we're being very sarcastic, we're being above them, but we're oh so nice in person, right?
Right.
And so our bodies will show us that we're doing that. And if your knees are aching or if you have any kind of knee pain, that's what's going on. It's your ego. And you got to get your ego in check and you have to crush your ego. And people say, no, it's because I tripped over my dog and slammed my knee. Yes. Would you like to know why you tripped over your dog? Because God would like to set you on your ass and have you think about your ego. That's like everything's in play here. There's always things happening that are setting your ass down and making you deal with it. And there's always a reason to the rhyme. I promise you, there's always a spiritual side to every single pain, ailment, disease, anything you got going on, there is always something that is spiritually going on because we are spiritual beings living in a spiritual universe. And we have put physical labels on things in our body that we go to doctors for. You can either go to the doctor, have it cut out, radiated out, cooked out, treated out or something, or you can do it spiritually and do it the spiritual way and have it leave your body the normal way, the way that God intended for you to actually work on your shit and have it transcend. How many of you used to go to the doctor nonstop? You know anybody, Dave?
Throughout my 20s, I was a frequent flyer, I could say. I had quite a few bills. I was in and out of the ER all the time because I thought I was losing my mind. And I had wrist problems. They told me I should have wrist surgery, and the knee problems, we already covered that. But
Yep. And Becky just popped in and said, what about headache? Headache is anger. Headache is anger. Headache is rage not being dealt with. And migraines, especially. I suffer from migraines because I have a lot of anger that I'm still currently dealing with how the world goes around and how people treat each other. So I am definitely still dealing with that as a human. I also still have the headaches. Becky, when I look into your energy, it's definitely it has to do with your sister and it has to do with something with ownership or something with your daughter or something with the placement or placing or, not dealing with the anger of that. And so we have to go down and do the work and to release the pain. And to release the pain, we go down into why we're hurt, why we're angry, why we're pissed off. That doesn't mean we have to act on it, you guys. People are so afraid of aggression and so afraid of interacting and having that fight with others. They say to us that understand that it's not that we have to fight and be angry, it's that we need to deal with the transformation that needs to take place inside of our bodies for evolution and to evolve. And to do that, we just need to say, this is why I'm so angry. I'm hurt. I'm hurt because of this. I forgive you for the role that you played in this. I forgive myself for the role that I played in this, and I can transcend this. I can transform this.
what's the best advice you can give someone that are like me, where we can really grasp it quickly? Like I could forgive others very quickly. I could grasp the whole concept of transcending the problem, but subconsciously I still was mad at myself for being there. Like I should have known better. What's the best advice to get over that hump?
That every single thing that's happening in your life is for the betterment of it. And so they're saying to us that remember that the embetterment of it is only your perfection of your perception.
Yeah.
The perfection of your perception. Ever heard of that? They're laughing at us, Dave. The perfection of your perception, because understand that it's only your perception that's making it that awful and ugly. It is your reaction and your understanding of what happened. It's what your label you're putting on it.
I think that's what I'm actively starting to sponge right now. Like we never learn. I don't want to declare that I've learned it, but like I'm starting to grasp that it literally is. It's like a light switch. You just have to just turn it on.
Yes, absolutely. It does just turn on like this. Once you turn it on and say, I am in charge of my creation, I am in charge of who I am and my reactions to this situation, what am I going to do with it? What am I going to do with it? What am I going to create with it? right? Like, let me give you one that a lot of you deal with out there. You all have teenage kids or kids, and you expect them to act some kind of way inside of your household, correct? You expect them to clean up. Anybody do that, Dave? You expect things out of them. This is what I honorably tell you, that this works 100%. You want them to do something, model it. Be the person you want them to be. Be the person that you want them to be. They will model it. Take off the expectations of what you think somebody could be. Because when you expect something, that's when the universe says, ah, ha, 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 ha. Let me show you what expectations gives you. Stop expecting. Give love and a foundation to grow. Teach them and lead them by example. Show them, give them the opportunities, give them the doorways to do it. Show them what a good life looks like. Model it. And if they don't choose it, then they don't choose it. I don't drive myself crazy because my kids don't do their dishes. That's their thing. And if they don't do the dishes, guess what? I guess they don't have anything to eat off of. I don't know what to tell you. And I will tell them that. And I hope my kids are watching because they know it's the truth. If there's not dishes, I'm like, I simply, oh, no dishes? Weird. Did you do the dishes? No, no. Oh, so what do you think you should do right now? The dishes. Oh, great. And I'll walk away because I don't have expectations. All I do is pave the way. We know what's there. We know what we have to do to have a functional life to live. And so when you take expectations off of people, it lets them grow in any direction that they need to grow. Expectations always lead us to failure every single time. Expectations for yourself and expectations for others. How many times have you tried to lose weight and have an expectation of self and you sabotage it? Anytime you like we say, this is my expectation of myself, and we're doing it for 48 hours, and here we go. And we set the expectation super high. Dun, dun, dun. Self-sabotage every time. But if you love yourself through it, and you give yourself compassion, and you give yourself leeway, and you give yourself the path to pave the way, and you be your own example to yourself for compassion and love, you'll be able to build any transformation that you're looking for. Any.
You gotta give yourself wiggle room.
Yes, absolutely. Not just wiggle room, Dave, rolling room.
Yeah, right.
Roll a little to the left, roll a little to the right. Like, just let yourself be. Don't make it such a horrible, crushing experience. Don't make it such an experience that it's so miserable that you're not going to make it out. I cannot tell you how many times I've declared something and God's like, oh, you declare? Here comes the lightning. Don't declare.
I'm still
Just
doing that.
allow yourself to roll around a little bit and experience life easily, safely, happily, and just let yourself grow in the way that you're supposed to grow. Don't take experiences so rough and tough and horribly. Don't make them so miserable for yourself because we're the only one causing our misery. And people say, no, so and so makes my misery. Oh, they do they? And I'll walk you right through it. Dave calls this welcome to Thunderdome, bitch.
It's,
Right, Dave?
we just did that this morning. It's my reaction is what's causing the turmoil inside of me. If I choose not to react, then I don't have to have all this turmoil. Doesn't mean that you can't, go forward in a adult fashion, but like the reaction, the childish reaction, only two wrongs don't make a right, I guess.
Exactly.
It's like, this is BS, like, and now you just got a shitstorm of BS,
Right.
like I paid money for this and I'm getting screwed. Like that just doesn't help anybody. Like
That doesn't help anybody at all. Right. And when we take things not so seriously, right? When we make
Yeah.
things not so serious. That's when we really can start transforming and transcending our shit. Because when we make it so serious and so crushing and so raw, and we just have to fight for the right thing, right, Dave?
To party. I thought you were gonna go.
No, for the right ordeal. Like I'm gonna fight because this is right, and I spent all this money, and this is all about me, and in my paving the way, and me.
And,
Okay,
and more times than not, you're gonna miss the miracle by being in that state, I guess.
that's exactly right, Dave. Yes. Like, we have slow shows and we have slow days where, we don't have a lot of people, but I'll tell you what, we just experienced this one show that was really slow, and it was okay. We have slow shows. That happens. I made the best of it. I went
It
out
was a
and
fun weekend.
it was a
I
fun
had so much
weekend.
fun.
We had so many connections with new people, but there was this lady, and it is the cutest story, you guys. This is gonna just make your heart just melt. I was behind a window, right? So it literally looks like I'm in a zoo. Like there's a big pane of windows. And this lady looks at me through the window, and I look at her, and her eyes connect with mine, and her eyes just turn into stars. And she walks down to the door and comes in and walks to me, and she says, "Who are you?" And I says, "I'm Debbie. I'm a refined." She's like, "What is this?" And I said, "This is a holistic fair." And she's like, "In a mall? What's a holistic fair?" Right? And so I explained what I am and who I am. And she's like, "I'm just very drawn to you." She's like, "I've never even heard of this before." And I said, "Well, why don't you sit down? I do charge a little bit for my energy exchange." And so we charged her $45. We knew that she wasn't, any kind of way about it. And she wasn't. And she sat down, and we will share this, but we're not sharing any names. So we share this for learning experiences, not because we want to share somebody's business, just so we're aware on this. She's very suicidal. And I often get a lot of people who are at their wits' end and ready for the end of their life, and they just have nobody and nowhere to turn. And so we met with her, and we had a very heartfelt reading for probably 45 minutes. And she left our reading happy, full of tears, joyful, finding a purpose in her life. And she just could not thank me enough. Her whole freaking shirt was like wet with tears because she released so much energy. And that one meeting with that one woman, and to change her life so that she didn't feel like that she needed to off herself, made our whole entire day worth it. One person's growth to me, one person's transformation is the whole world to me. That's why I do what I do. It's not about the money. Like we all need money to live. It's energy exchange, but that's not why I do what I do. What I do is I am the channel for people to make the transformation, to have purpose, to have a hope, to find something in life to love and to feel and be loved. People sit in front of me and they say, "I've never felt so loved in my life." Like, what is this? Like, what are you? And I'm like, "You're feeling all the love streaming through me from the other side. That's what you're feeling. Debbie's just a conduit to it. Am I a loving individual? Well, yeah. But when they're streaming through us, it is so catastrophic. It's like no other."
When you look at it from a physical sense, like, from a monetary gain, the days that are the worst sometimes are the ones that made the most impact. We had an event that we put on ourselves a year and a half, 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
And this was like, I'll never forget this day. Like, I will be on my deathbed still thinking of it, because it was like, it was pressing for me, because our train was going. We were going chugga, 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 and things were going booming and everything was flying for us. And then it just felt like we fell flat on our face that day.
We fell off the
Like,
tracks.
we even had people picketing outside. All the things that could have happened there.
We had a church try to buy off our
Yeah.
fare. They offered the venue double what we paid to
Right.
tell us we couldn't have our fare.
And then there was construction where you couldn't even get to the building.
Yes.
You had to go all the way around town just to get to us.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, the moral of this is, like, we lost a lot of money. So if you want to look at it from a physical point of view, man, we failed today.
Thousands of dollars.
But-
We put thousands of dollars
But
into our shows.
we gained so many people. Like
Yes.
we still have 5 people from that event alone that take our classes and come to our retreats.
The
And
energy
these are
exchanges.
relationships that we like have changed our lives,
Yes.
just by knowing these people. So like sometimes it doesn't seem like it's working, but it's always working if you believe it. And you teach that the most in your classes, the 3 Ps. If you have a purpose, if you have the passion and you have the people, who cares about what's happening on a physical sense? It's still going to happen
That's
because you
right.
have those 3 Ps, and you teach that the most.
Yes.
Like I'm very passionate about that day just because it has changed me as a human being, really. Like that was a blessing. And that day, if you would have asked me, I would have told you to get lost.
Dave was ready to tip tables that day for sure. Yeah, and I just kept the space of we have to have faith. We have to have faith. We have to have faith, and we always have to know that behind the scenes, everything really is working out for us. No matter the day, no matter the problem, no matter what's going on, we have to keep truth first, always be truthful, truthful in who we are, truthful in what we say, and truthful in what we're thinking. You keep truth first, and miracles really will happen for you. And trusting yourself, trusting others, and trusting the experience. And once you have those two, love, loving others, loving yourself, loving the people that were picketing
I
outside.
couldn't I couldn't see Refined Divine without the people that are still following us from that day. Like those people have really impacted us in such a positive way.
They have had such a transformation
Yeah.
in their lives that we are so thankful to watch their growth, that it makes us just in awe. Like I'll tell you, we have seen such growth in these people over the years, and it is not us, it is them. They take the information that is channeled from Debbie and through Debbie and makes them motivated, right? They motivate themselves. They find a purpose in their life, they find a passion, and they just develop their lives at a whole new level, like catastrophically. And you don't even recognize them. Their physical appearance even becomes beautiful. Their physical appearance, their spiritual abundance, their physical plane of who they are on this earth just changes altogether. I mean, we have this one story of a lady who came to us, and she had lost her children, she had lost her husband, her life was in shambles. She spent the first 8 weeks of our class bawling her eyes out.
Yeah.
I looked at Dave and I said, I don't know if this girl is even obtaining or, absorbing anything I'm saying. Like, I really can't tell because,
Stuck in mud at first, it felt from a point of view.
the
Yeah.
tears were just flowing at such a catastrophic rate that it was just so hard to watch. And this lady, I went up for coffee. I went up to the coffee shop uptown here, and she stopped in for coffee, and she looked at me and just started bawling. Never seen me before, didn't know who I was. She just felt the energy of who I was, and she just lost it right there in the middle of the coffee shop. I offered for her to come back to my shop here, and we talked for hours. We got her into classes, we got her into the spiritual retreats. 1 year out, she left Refined Divine, completely recovered from alcoholism, had got her child back, and is remarried and now pregnant with a second. I mean, just amazing transformation.
And that happens over and over. Like we began this whole discussion. Like you're gonna miss the miracle. Like you just have to stay the course.
Yeah.
So like
Hmm.
have a little more sensitivity towards yourself and understand that it's just all a life experience, and we're all just trying to learn and have fun and be who we are as people and help lift each other up.
That's the whole point of it. Lifting yourself up, learning and reteaching what you've been through, helping others with your experiences. Like that right there alone will change your life.
Yeah. The show that you were just talking about with the lady who was at her wits end, it really reset me from a motivational point of view, because that is why we do it.
That's
Like
right.
I'm gonna tear up. It was such a blessing to meet her. Like I was so glad that you could be there to meet her. And while you were giving her a reading, I had the other end of it. This lady walked in and was like, "Oh my God, is that Debbie?" Like acting like though she was looking at a celebrity, you know. And I was like, "That's cool." Like when people react that way, you know, like uh, you got to enjoy the ride,
Yeah.
you know, like keep yourself busy.
Yeah, and yeah, and when you are bored or when things aren't going your way, that's exactly right, Dave. Get busy. Like, get busy, move your energy, get active, transformation, transform yourself into something positive, and positive things will come to you.
Uh,
That's absolutely right.
we traveled what m- 10 hours away to a show that wasn't the greatest, and I took it as an opportunity to start doing inventory and seeing what we needed to order when we got back home.
Yes.
Man, we were ready when we got back
Oh
home.
my God, we got so many great ideas from that show. You're talking about Michigan, right?
Yeah,
Yes, Michigan actually transformed one of the way that we do our whole entire setup.
yeah.
I met this beautiful lady that had this lighting system, and I was like, "Can you show me how you do this? Because
Mhm.
I want this lighting system." And
Nice.
she showed me how to do it, and we currently use that lighting system in our shows, in our display, and it's phenomenal. And in return, I gave her some of my leads for crystal sales because she was a wholesaler too. And so I gave her a lot of leads and what she could do to benefit her business. So the exchange was quite equal. And I'm always making sure the energy exchange is
Every
equal.
time we shut those lights down after a show, I'm so thankful for that trip because I can't see our table without them. It's
Yeah,
that beautiful.
uh-huh. It is beautiful. It's gorgeous. We love lighting it up.
Yeah.
We love lighting our table up like we like lighting people's lives up.
Mm. Yeah.
It's quite two for two. Yeah. So we love to share our experiences with you guys because we want you to know that the transformation is possible for all of you. You know, we do spiritual retreats and we have one coming up in Easter. It is in Door County. We did this big beautiful mansion. It's gorgeous. We have some spots available left. I think we have 4 beds left. $700 for 3 days in this gorgeous mansion includes all of everything, your meals, your workshops, everything we're going to be doing is going to be included. It is really a VIP experience. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. 20 acres on a secluded spot around the beautiful lake in Door County. We can't wait for it. Talk about transformation. You want some transformation? Come and spend 3 days with Channeling Debbie.
I've been I've been to every one, obviously, and people always ask me like, "Well, what's it like?" And literally every retreat is always a new lesson, a new because it is channeled directly to who's there. So it's like my mind is like blown every time we have a new retreat. I wish we could have a retreat every day. I don't know if we all have the energy for
I don't
that,
think I could sustain that, Dave.
but like but like
I
just
sleep for 48 hours after a 3-day
just
retreat.
but from a spiritual point of view, God, the growth in us even after
Yes.
every retreat, it's amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what we're saying is that we invite you, and we also have scholarships if you can't afford it. So always apply for one of those. And then we also have payment plans that you can get on. We have a retreat coming up this weekend in Osseo, Wisconsin. We are so excited for that. That one's just a 2-dayer. I do have a few spots available because we had some people that backed out that we're going to gift forward. So if you are available and you would like to check out our retreat, send me a message about this weekend. It starts at 10 a.m. on Saturday, and we're going to leave Sunday at 8 p.m. We do have the option to stay over Monday if you would like. I and Dave still will be there, but we are ending the retreat Sunday night because everybody's just so busy this time of year, it seems. So we're going to try a 2-dayer, and that does include everything. And like I said, it is a gifted forward space. So you can always give me a shout out if you're interested. Let me know. We can talk about it and what that entails. Because if you want a transformation, we promise you, you're going to find it here. There ain't no doubt about it. You ain't going to be the same. Nobody is, including us.
Every day I wake up and I'm like, oh boy, what are we doing today?
I never know what's going to happen at the retreats, and neither does anybody else. And that's why we say they're completely channeled and there's no itinerary, because there's not.
That's always our running joke because everybody knows I'm closest to Debbie. They're like, what are we doing next, Dave? What she got going on next, Dave? And I'm like, I have zero clue. You need to. I'm probably the least one that would know. You know, I'm over here worrying about what I'm doing.
Finally, we're to that stage, right, Dave? We're finally there, Dave.
Yeah.
Worrying about what Dave's doing, not what other people are doing.
Yeah.
And that is such a transformation, Dave, for you and anybody else who can obtain that. Staying in what you're doing and who you are and not what everybody else is up to. When you're into everybody else's energy and paying attention to it, you guys, you're pulling that energy inside of you. You're pulling that negativity. You're pulling that energy inside of your heart. You're making that yours. Energy is transferable. It is not makeable or destroyable. It transfers. It's moving. Energy is always moving. So your attention on something takes that energy and pulls it towards you. That's why in the beginning we were talking today about energy that's around you, and because you're going to be pulling that energy and supporting that energy and being a part of that energy, and you will transform. You can't fuck around with pollution and not get polluted. And that is solemn. That is word. You mess around with a bunch of really icky, mucky negative people, you're gonna slide into that negativity. I'll tell you, when I worked in the public school system, that was the hardest thing for me. It was to stay within my own boundaries and not get into the drama, into the bullshit, into the mentality of this group and that group, and petty this and petty that, and all the things. Is that I was there to teach love and unconditional love and acceptance for all children, all adults. And I'll tell you, we changed that school system we were in. The special education system will never be the same because of us and because of the channeling and because of what we brought to it.
I worked in a warehouse for 10 years, and the thought that comes to my mind is that cat meme when he wakes up and his hair everywhere. I was being pulled every which way when Debbie met me. Holy crap. So I did mess with the pollution.
Oh
I
my
was a
God.
part of this gossip and that gossip, and
Oh boy. Yeah, you were the run-of-the-mill rumor
Yeah.
maker,
I
taker,
thought everybody
spreader.
loved me though. They all came to me with their BS.
And how did you feel at the end of the day, Dave?
Pretty drained. After see, that's what I was taught is that I was actually working longer hours after I met you, and I had more energy. Weird. When
That's
you
right.
start just focusing on yourself, the
Mhm.
energy comes. Like, because we're all born with it. Like, it's all up there. Like, just grab it, take it. It's part of us.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is you.
Right.
But what isn't you is all of their energies, but you make it you by paying
Yeah,
attention to
that
it.
guy that walks in, oh, the weather today. I'm like, oh, the weather is crap today, man. Because there's always somebody that hates it hot, hates it cold, hates it snowing, hates it raining, hates it sunny. So if you want to be down, just keep grabbing.
Yeah, just keep sucking it in. Just keep swallowing it down. And then before you know it, you're an evil monster.
Yeah.
And you wonder why you have no energy. It's because you've taken in all of the negative energy. So people always talk to you about energy vampires. You're the vampire. You guys are all looking at it wrong. It's not that they're sucking from you. We're going to talk about sucking from you. We're going to get to that. Dave, remind me after this.
Mhm.
But it's a complete difference. But when you're feeling like heavy and like depressed and like that there's so much energy in you and you have no energy left, it's because you've sucked in all of the stagnant negative energy. It's become very heavy. You got to stop paying attention to everything out there and sucking it in. That's what's happening. Like you're going through Walmart and all of a sudden you're angry and don't know why. You're just sucking it all in, you guys. I'm like, stop doing that.
It used to be me. The minute I'd walk into Walmart, I'd be like,
Oh my God, stop it. No. Okay. So energy vampire, how do you spot one? 1, your mouth is going to go dry. 2, your eyes are going to go dry. 3, your skin and your body is going to feel restless, and you're going to feel like, oh God, I don't belong here. I don't know what to do. You're going to feel shifty. You're going to feel it in your body. And so what is an energy vampire? An energy vampire is somebody that is a very low level. We're talking bottom level, and they need other people's energy to survive because they do not have their own self-love.
and mind you, a lot of these people don't even know they're doing it.
They don't know they're doing it. Absolutely, Dave. It's not, well,
Some do. Yeah.
some know what they're doing. Now let's not get it fucked up.
Right.
Some know what they're doing, but 90% do not. 90% do not. But we want you to protect yourself. We want you not to pay attention to these people because they need to learn to find their own self-love. One, you're either teaching them or get the hell out the kitchen and run. Like either teach them that's what they're doing or get out and run. They don't have their own self-love. That's what's happening. And they need to obtain it from others to sustain happiness and joy.
Makes sense.
You know anything about that, Dave?
Yeah, I think I was a vampire. I know I was a vampire.
Yeah. When I first started dating Dave, I would sit in the passenger seat and I'd be like,
But was I cool? Was I at least a cool like Wesley Snipes Blade type vampire? Like,
no.
Oh, bummer.
But you had a really good heart.
Yeah.
And you were a really great person. And God kept telling us you were our husband.
Yeah. Well,
So we listened.
good.
So we
I'm
listened.
glad you listened.
You're welcome. No, we play around, you guys. We do. We play around all the time. And I and Dave, we take stabs at each other and we're very jokey about what we say and what we do. But we do. We love each other from the core. Absolutely, we do. But we joke around and make things funny because
time.
it brings joy and happiness. Why wouldn't we?
Just like I have a cap issue, right? You know?
Dave's got a cap issue right here. I got one missing. My cap issue. Dave's got a cap issue. We always bring joy and happiness to anything that's happening in our life and try to use humor. Try to use humor. No matter what it is, if you bring humor into it, it's not going to be so awful. It's not going to be so awful in your life. So when you're making transitions and transformations, we said this before, we'll say it again and we'll say it till we're blue in the face. You got to stop taking it so goddamn seriously. You got to stop taking it so seriously. You have to let yourself just be. Just let yourself be. Don't make it such a horrible, I got to fight for what's right. And I got to band together and we got to arm together. We're going to go fight this war against humanity and we're going to do these things. And no, no.
Yeah, it's like you always say, if you were gonna die today, would it matter?
Uh-huh.
So like, like not then it's not being insensitive to the problem. It's just how do we solve it? Let's solve the problem. Let's not
Yes.
let's not spew the problem.
Consistently, we say no bitching unless we're fixing.
Yeah.
No bitching unless we're fixing. And if you come to me and you have an issue, I will talk to you with it and I will let you express your feelings about it, but not unless we're trying to fix it. If you're just that person that wants to misery loves company, I'm not about it. I'm not going to listen to you. I'm not going to listen to you whine. I'm not going to listen to your grievances. But if you would like to grieve and you would like to bitch because you want to fix something, I'm all ears. Let's do it. Let's fix it.
When I first started going to that warehouse and realizing that the people that were always spewing their nonsense onto me all of a sudden didn't want to have anything to do with me, I was like, I thought I hit the lottery. I was like, holy cow, like, what am I doing differently? And then you're like, oh boy, because I was almost getting egotistical that it was working. So then I had to live through a lot of that too.
So then Dave went from regular ego to spiritual ego. He just exchanged one from the other.
Yep.
So, and that will happen, you guys. And you have to just acknowledge it and say, oh, that's my spiritual ego. Here I am thinking I'm way up here.
And that's
Here I am.
That's a lot of the point that you're making is I can laugh about it. Like, don't be so serious about it. I did that too much. What a waste of time.
Oh my God, such a waste of energy. You
Yeah.
guys, you'll just begin to understand that a waste of energy is anything other than love. A waste of energy is anything other than love. All emotions other than love are the removal of love. Sad, why? Because they didn't love you enough. Removal of love.
Or you-
Mad, why? They didn't treat you with love. Removal of love. Guilty, why? You don't love yourself. Removal of love. All emotions other than love are the removal of it. And just to understand that that's where it comes from. That's where it comes from.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Kelly, you there?
You guys were in full flow, and I was not gonna do anything but enjoy the ride.
I felt like my
Yeah.
head was gonna pop off a few times. I was like,
Yeah, we wanted to share I and Dave's channeling abilities together because it's quite phenomenal. Dave has the right questions and the know-how. A lot of my channeling and some of the greatness that has come out is because I and Dave's a relationship and the trust that we have with each other. And so the dynamic brings a lot of learning for others and growth for others.
You're welcome.
Dave, you should make a T-shirt that just says "You're welcome."
Yeah.
We made him a t-shirt and a hat that said, um,
What a difference a
what a
Dave makes.
difference a Dave makes.
It can be taken either way.
You could take it either way, whichever you choose.
Oh, you guys you guys should trademark that. That's actually really fantastic.
That's one of her running jokes is God gave me Dave so I knew I could do this.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
He did. He said, I'm going to gift you Dave and he's going to be your husband and he's going to teach you what you need to know. And lo and behold, I didn't understand what he meant, but I definitely understand now. Self-reflection and growth and transformation through love and seeing myself in somebody else because Dave is just a version of me. And to see myself and him caused all the transformation and growth in me to be able to do what I'm doing today. It's just amazing.
What are you guys doing for the rest of the month? You guys have
December.
adventures you're going on.
Oh yeah. I was like, hold on, you're asking the human. Let me come down.
What is today?
When we're channeling, we can't ask human questions. We can't answer them. Hold on.
Okay, just before you do that, before you come down, anything else you want to share with the audience before we come back down to earth?
Just always choose yourself and choose what's right for you. You know, people pleasing is the biggest thing that is going to get in your way from transformation. Wanting others to be happy and wanting others to have the most perfect life and you providing that will cut off your source to your perfect life. It will cut off the source to all of your happiness and your joy because you're literally saying, here's my joy, here's my happiness, you can have it because I don't need it. That's what people pleasing is. It's giving your joy away. And so understand when you're making a transformation and you're making a transcending move to level up and a greater understanding and enlightenment, people pleasing can't be a part of that. You got to take it out of the equation.
That was one of my favorite childhood quotes it was actually Joe Montana. He said that if you let other people define success for you, you'll be chasing ghosts the rest of your life. And
Yeah.
to say that gives me goosebumps that even came to me. I forgot about that quote.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so just understanding and knowing that that's exactly what it is, that if you're helping everybody else get happy, where's your happiness and joy? You're giving it away. And once you stop doing that, you'll really start working on yourself.
Yeah.
That's what I made the transition into loving who I truly was and really became a very strong channeler that it was unwaverable. Is when I stopped people pleasing and giving two fucks what people thought about Debbie or Debbie's channeling. A great big fat fuck you, I don't care, was what made me who I was.
The meme, I got zero given.
I got zero fucks given. Dave's always afraid to swear online. Not me. I don't give a shit. Flag me. It's fine. Find me. It's all right. Just a word. Just word.
And so we'll be in Lawrenceville, Georgia, which is a suburb of Atlanta.
Okay, come on down. Come on. Ooh. Okay.
December 14th and 15th, and she's going to be doing the gallery for them, the Peace of Mind Expo in Lawrenceville, Georgia.
Oh yes, I'm the VIP. I'm the headliner.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we'll also be in Columbus, Georgia, because Debbie's got to make sure we're busy.
Yes, I can't not be busy.
We're going to be at the Peachtree Mall doing an event there, a holiday Winterfest.
Yes.
On the 21st and 22nd? That's Saturday, Sunday.
Yep, I'll be right in the hallway. If you're in Georgia, taking a little siesta, or if you live there, come on down and see us. We're going to be there. We're going to be in two different spots, and then we're headed to New Orleans.
Yeah, we'll be in Panama Beach.
Oh, not in Florida.
as well,
Sorry.
Between those two events, and then we're going to New Orleans
Oh, yeah.
after the
Panama Beach, Florida, and then we're headed to New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We gotta go see a Pelicans game, right, babe? You're a big sports fan.
Yes. No. But the kids are. So Dave is taking the boys, and I'll be in the hallway talking to people.
So how do you want to leave? This is going to be our last show for 2024. And
Yes.
watch all of our platforms for our January and beyond 2025 schedule. How do you want to leave our beautiful people that connected with us today or watching this on the replay?
Yeah, so you guys, you can reconnect with us for readings online. You can contact us through our website, www.refinedivinepsychic.com, or you can go to our Refined Divine Presents Garden of Eden medium. And you can also text us on the phone number on the website. There's all kinds of ways to get a hold of us. For classes are going to continue through December, and we're doing mentoring programs. We do one-on-one mentoring programs. Like Dave says, if you can't break through and you can't get through a blockage, come on into Thunderdome and we'll help you do that. Because of our straightforward attitude and who we are and the way that we bring God's word through, it really does bust through blockages, and we're able to see things for people that you wouldn't even be able to see for yourself. And so we just say to us, reach out to us if we can't help you, and if I'm not your person, I'm really good at helping you find people that are. I resource people out all the time. Sometimes I'm not your healer, and we're perfectly okay with that, and we'll find somebody that matches up with you. So even if it's not me and you need help, always reach out. We'll find a way. Like there's always a pathway, and we'll be sure to find it.
That is beautiful. Well, thanks, you guys. And I look
Yeah,
forward
thanks
to
for having us on.
2025.
And Feliz Navidad.
Oh God,
Feliz
Feliz
Navidad.
Navidad. Each
Um,
day.
Bye, you guys. Explore your higher consciousness with the Edge Media Platform. We're a multimedia platform dedicated to connecting curious teachers and seekers in a safe, welcoming space. Dive into spiritual growth with our print magazine, digital content, podcasts, and in-person experiences. Whether you're seeking wisdom or sharing it, we're here to inspire and uplift your journey, here, there, and everywhere. Connect with us today.